Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. I gotta fix one more thing. There we go. Now I can see everything. Alright. Let's get started here. Where did we leave off last time? I don't remember. Let's just go kill some mechs, or watch some mechs die. Or kill some mechs. Let's actually kill, you know, this might be the last patch and before we get, you know, big patch. Let's just go kill things. Let's remember the good old days where we just mass murdered. Isn't mass murder fun, everyone? The answer is maybe. Holy shit, I'm very poor. I can fix this, I think. I can fix this. Go away. Alright, we're good. Grenade launcher. You're a masked man. You should be able to use a grenade launcher. There we go. Yeah, Brendan, I think the patch will do well. Hey, Michael. I think the patch will, I have knowledge of what's going to be in the patch, so I'm saying this with a little bit of extra knowledge. I do think it will, like, a lot of people will be happy for the patch. I think it's the biggest patch we've had thus far. Rather, I know it is. Now, people might have different opinions, but I do think it's the biggest patch in my opinion. Or it adds the most content, and adds the most different content. If you're currently bored of the current loop, I think it will do a lot for you. Alright, I want, what's it called? I want the mechs to die. Heisenberg. Yeah, didn't I just buy large meds? Are they being alphabetical now? Wait, hold on here. There they are. Huh, I didn't remember. It feels weird seeing them up there. Alright, grenade launcher rounds. Do I not have any grenade launcher rounds? That's a big oof. Whoop, whoop. I can buy a few at least. What the hell is going on here? Buyback, I guess? Alright. There we go. I might have enough to kill like one medium mech if I really want to. There we go. You don't sell any, do you? No, you don't. Yeah, so I guess you like, on one vendor reset, you get enough grenade launcher ammo to kill like one medium mech. Let me get the actual AK out that we put ammo on for. Yeah, I just never noticed it, I guess, Michael. Wait, what? Yeah, put the AK on, Gabe. Okay. There we go. Okay. Hey, Delta. For sure. I noticed that I didn't see in there them talking about, like, respawns. I hope that, like, they could see that in too. The weapons will be big, hopefully, though. I hope they, I definitely gave them some stuff on weapons that I hope they look into. Yeah, I did, Delta.
Wake up, rinse and repeat. Stay alive.
It was a good video. I think we'll get a patch video too, but I think that was like the, hey, you know, this is like kind of the plan for the year video. This is our dev communication for the entire year. We hope you enjoy it. We'll never talk to you again. That was me being facetious. I don't think that's actually the case. Alright, so I can kill one back. I was really hoping for like an actual duel. Maybe Racking will show up. Yeah, that's a dope. Like, that's definitely like something that I think that's gonna be huge for them. Is just like, hey, getting out more merch, just for people to consume. Because like that's the big thing too, right? Like, it's very important to realize that they're not just doing game development; they're doing IP development. Let me up. I don't think they were talking about baby tanks and referencing like haters. They have lots of different examples to pull from in that instance. Hey. I mean, there's a T90. It's gonna be a while before you see like I saw someone like fucking crackpot theorying that they're gonna have a secret level. I don't think we're there yet. Yeah, I'm hoping that like I do genuinely want to see an actual reinforcement update. All right, fuck it. It looked like it's trying to pad up. Oh god, I'm so proud of it. You can't. I know I don't want to die here, but at the same time, I'm so proud for it for actually shooting up. It's beautiful. Hey, Telvo. Look at you go up. You can kill people in the elevated direction. Come on, use your back gun. Do it. I see you trying to. Use the back gun. Use the thing you should have to actually deal with this. Come on. Come on. You could do it. Use the rear gun. Use the C-Wiz. Use the C-Wiz. I didn't analyze the video all that much, to be quite frank. I know there was like some weird like image of like a unit with like tank for feet. Yeah, Comic Cons are expensive too. I mean, I'm not really a big I'm not really a con fan, to be honest. Introverts unite. Going outside and doing things? What the hell? There we go. Watch it be a grabber. Don't mind that, that's my mouse input. I think my mouse is dying. I really hope it's not, though. I don't really want to replace this. Like, I could buy... I use a Zowie mouse, and Zowie mouses I really like. The only problem is that they're generally not kept, like, readily in stock everywhere. And so you have to order it, but, like, ordering it can take a few days. I do have a backup mouse. I don't, like, hate, but I don't love either. I do just prefer my Zowie. But I do think it might be on its last legs. Yeah, cons feel like an extrovert, like a nerdy extrovert's paradise, and I'm just like, I'm not really about that. If you are, props. Did I just wait? What? If you are, props to you, right? But like, I don't really want to be around people like that, to be quite frank. It would probably quickly exhaust me. Here's the thing, it would not be enjoyable for me in the long term, so I wouldn't do it. I'm not gonna spend lots of money to go to fucking California, pay however expensive the Comic Cons are now, because I know that they're insanely expensive now, just to like vibe with the Fun Dog crew for a bit. It's a lot of fucking money, man. But if you can, props to you. Go have fun. I know we got HKs. I don't see HKs. Oh, there it is. What HK are you? I'm guessing... Those look like Europa HKs, considering there's two of them. Yeah, just your HKs.
This is it. We decide what happens next.
I mean, Burning Man something else entirely, though, right? But like between airfare and like getting into like hotels are gonna jack up their prices too for like local area. Like it's you like flying into California, which is that one issue. You need to get a hotel, then you need to get the tickets for Comic-Con, and then you need to like get transportation to Comic-Con. There's a lot of hidden costs in doing something like that. Like you're easily gonna drop quite a few G's doing that. I mean, I don't, Tagada, if you haven't played the game recently, the original implementation of the stamina was bugged, and it was making it feel way more aggressive than it was. They've tuned it now to the point where it's largely forgettable. Like, at this point in time, the only thing you can't do is, like, full sprint for a long period of time. But like, it's easy come, easy go. Don't get me wrong, I don't like it either. I don't like the current implementation, but like, it's largely forgettable at this point. And it's necessary too, because like, it does, you shouldn't be able just to sprint through the entire map, to be honest. It's not that type of game. And if you disagree, that's perfectly fine and well. You can have your opinion, but like, I do think it's necessary. I don't like the implementation, but I think it's a necessary feature and mechanic in the game.
Enemy contact.
Damn it, just under the fucking chin. Like personally, I would have performed a more interesting mechanic in regards to having like more long-term stamina. That like, let's say for example, you can sprint for like 30 seconds or like a minute, but like there's an energy cost to that, right? That you kind of have your like, let's say for example, you have like 100 sprint, and 100 sprint lasts for a minute. So like you can sprint for, let's just say it's actually like 1-to-1. So like one energy sprint is like worth 1 second. So let's say you have like 100, right? So that means you can sprint for a minute and a half. That's probably overtuned, but let's just say for example's sake, that's the case. If you sprint that entire bar, you could maybe have it drained depending on how aggressively you use it, right? So like maybe it starts out 1-to-1, where if you use, let's say 100 stamina, you only get 90 of it back. And the other 10% is grayed out, that you can recover via food or drink or stuff like that. I'm not saying that's a perfect balance, but it's just an example of a system, right? Where like, hey, now you need to take into consideration like food and water. And it's not like you have a food and water meter. If you don't use it, you don't need to use food and water. But like, you are incentivized to use it if you sprint a lot. And I would probably do more nuance in that, but like at a very high level, that's what I would think I would like. In a way, like Michael, it's just a way of like having an aggregate system for like stamina, food, and water. Because like in a game like this, you don't really need to have those be individual bars or things players need to track. And it doesn't need to be like a constant drain, right? Where it like happens no matter what. This game does not need a food and water meter, right? But you can kind of aggregate it under energy if you want, as a like something they can, you know, recover if they want to from using it. But it shouldn't be like Tarkov where it's a passive drain. I fucking hate the, like, I understand why it exists in Tarkov. I don't mind that it exists in Tarkov, but I don't think it should exist in lots of other games. Where's my codex at? I wanted to make some money. Grello baby, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. What if I gave you a codex? Yeah, that could be too. It could just recover naturally also, right? Like that could work also, Michael, right? Where it's just like, hey, this grayed out meter even recovers slowly without you eating also. Yeah, you could do like, and that's Telmo, for example, is a way of like adding nuance to different types of food, right? Where like one types of food might be like really good at recovering, you know, your gray bar, but doesn't do any overcharge, while some might, you know, not do a lot of healing on your stamina bar, but give you lots of overcharge. Like, yeah, there's you can contextualize or make the consumables different by like making the energy system a bit more complicated. And the big thing is too, right, is that like the reason why I want a larger bar is it allows for scenarios where you really need it to exist, but there to be a cost. Like, hey, if you need to sprint for a minute to get away from a cyborg horde and get out of the map, sure, that's perfectly fine, but there's a cost to that. Because it does feel weird to me, like, if you're getting chased by cyborgs and your first idea is to run, how punished you get because, like, you sprint for 10 seconds and you're like, oh, nope, I'm just gonna fucking die instead, thanks. And then, like, that could be an example, right, where you could make the lower you go on your energy meter in regards to stamina you're using. Like, so let's say, for example, if you use your entire stamina bar, it might drain a lot more of your energy than only if you use the top part of it, right? There could be, like, a curve there of, like, basically, like, the more you use, the more it drains. So, like, you pulled from your energy reserve, right? But now, you know, there's a cost to that. The only, like, concern I have, hey, Sim Keller, hey, Bob. The only concern I have, Michael, with that system is I don't want to incentivize the point where, like, I do like the passive regen of stamina and, like, clearing out that gray bar. My only concern, though, is I do not want to ever incentivize players to have to, like, sit down for a minute out of, like, if I ever get to the point where you, like, the player feels like they have to, like go AFK for a minute to recover their bar, that's my concern, right? Like, I'm not a big fan of that. So I never want the passive regeneration to, like, ever incentivize that. Because that to me feels like a very feel-bad mechanic in the sense of, you've drained your stamina too much, so now you must go west, like, set in a corner for a minute to recover some of your stamina. That seems very lame to me. So, like, opting them into food just feels a bit more natural, I feel like. Or, like, food and water. I would maybe mechanically, if they ever did things like rest points, maybe, like if they ever did multi-raid and rest points, perhaps, I could maybe see a mechanic where like you could choose or opt into doing a night shift and maybe get like a rest period between hand. Yeah, like if there was safe spots between maps, that would make a lot of sense to recover some stamina on, right? But like maybe that could cause like night shifts to happen more, stuff like that. I can see that, right? But it should never be like in raid where the player should like be able to just sit down and like recover stamina, just because I don't really want to incentivize like players just feeling like the game is asking them to go AFK for a bit to recover stamina. That just feels like a very poor game loop. The game is asking you not to play the game. What is this, fucking Stronghold? Alright, for those unfamiliar, Stronghold is like an old castle game, like a castle building game, and like / RTS game. And I'm not sure if the remastered versions did it right. They probably do. But the original versions of Stronghold, like if you were playing for a long period of time, the game would tell you to like go take a break or go do stuff, or like, hey, maybe you've been playing for a while, maybe go fucking touch some goddamn grass. And it was like always just like a fuck you, Stronghold. I'll play if I want to. Don't tell me what to do, Stronghold. It was very like fourth wall and cheeky, right? Gosh, if I can play Stronghold again, that game's fucking great.
Don't miss. Take every shot counts.
If you've never played Stronghold, like, and if you like RTS like castle builders, Stronghold is the OG. What the? Leave it alone. Stronghold is the OG. I don't play any instrument. I played bass when I was younger, but I don't play any instrument. I'm not a musician. I can't be bothered to learn things like that. Oh, Snowman. Duh, okay. That makes a lot more sense, Survivor. I was so confused. Thank you. I'm like, why does that come up? Okay, I understand now. Yeah, what instrument do you play, Snowman? Nice. So you're saying, what you're saying, Snowman, is you do a lot of tooting. Is that the word for the trumpet player? Is like the toot? They toot? He, she, or they toot? Doot? Yeah, oh yeah, Doot, yeah. The Doot guy. The Doom reference. For some reason, I keep thinking, like, recently, like, I don't want to say, like, recently, but like, in the last, like, couple of months, right? I have definitely just, like, kept thinking about Doom 3. I'm like, should I go play Doom 3? It's been a second. And, like, I've had this, like, desire to go play Doom 3. I don't know why.
Eyes on us. Spread out.
Are you calling the game a virus because it's bad? I don't think the game was that bad. It's just that it's very different from, like, the Doom people thought of, like, it was, like, it went into a very different direction of Doom, right?
Eyes on us. Spread out.
It went into, like, almost like a survival horror version of Doom. Not really survival, like a horror FPS, I guess, of Doom. I don't know, it's weird. It definitely wasn't like the OG Dooms, right? Or, like, it wasn't definitely like the new version of Doom, where it's an arena shooter, basically. But, like, it was a very interesting, like, take on Doom. And, like, I don't really, like, it was, like, pretty decent game. It just, I don't know, I kind of want to go play it again. I need to go see if it's on Steam and if it, like, works on fucking Windows 10.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
Hey Alex, how's it going? It's not bad. It was like, I think it was like mainly like decently well received. Like it was, people did, like, it was like, well, it was okay received. It was like an 80, I think, out of 100 for most people, for the most part. It wasn't like universally praised, but it was like, you know, it's a decent game. It's a good game. But I feel like I remember some controversy, not controversy, but like people didn't like it sometimes because it didn't feel like Doom, for example. It felt like more of like a horror game. I know too, I recall like back in the day though, like the Doom 3, the performance was really fucking rough. But no, I think I might install Doom 3 and play it again. Now I want to do that and Stronghold now. I did play Stronghold like maybe like 2 years ago again. The OG Stronghold. I think I played the remastered version though. I don't know, I can't recall. Though it's definitely one of those things, right? I probably played the remastered, but it was one of those instances, right, where like you play a remastered version of the game. It's like, isn't this what the game looked like back in the day? And then you realize, like, no, that's what you thought it looked like back in the day. The actual OG graphics were awful. You're just used to them. All right. Let us continue on. Yeah, I mean, I liked the story, and like, if we're talking about Doom 3 still, or yeah, Doom 3 still, I did generally like, just like, it was a very different take, I think, on Doom that we've had thus far, and in regards to the whole catalog. And it is kind of interesting, right? We don't really have lots of these games right anymore, where it's like kind of just this linear shooter that kind of, yeah, we don't really have a lot of linear shooters anymore. And it's kind of refreshing, right? Like, there was a time and period, right, where like every game was a linear shooter and it was exhausting. And now we're to the point where like no game is a linear shooter. So I'm kind of missing the linear shooter aspect. I kind of enjoyed System Shock 1 Remastered for that reason, right? It's just that's like, it's one of those, it goes back to the days of like, it wasn't like a pure linear shooter because there was like levels you would walk around and explore. But it was way more linear than lots of games are nowadays. And so it was kind of refreshing. We did not kill that many people. I think we're gonna do an OG run here. We're gonna go murder some cyborgs on Mesa Tunnel. We have to do the old stuff we used to do before the game changes. We've got our court mandated plug pull. Alright, so if we're gonna do this, we need to do a few things here. First, let me go ahead and collect these. Let me get the pack mule going. All right, I need to change you to have a flashlight on you so I can actually fucking see. Let me go buy a flashlight. Really? What vendor am I missing? Don't I have water? Yeah, I got just enough water. Okay, there we go. We're back. He's back. All right, Middleton. Parts. Let's go over to attachments. We're going for flashlight. Just buy a few, I guess. All right. Do. All right, just to make sure we can see. It's very important that we can see. I do I want another gun that has a flashlight on it, or just want to do... Yeah, I think this is fine, probably. Can the USAS get a flashlight, though, actually? Hold on. Oh, nah, I don't even have one, so it's a mute point. We will bring a backup shotgun just in case. We probably won't use it. So 500 rounds is not really that much, to be honest. Are you still on reset? Yeah, you are. Hey Bart, how's it going? Alright, let's go have some fun on Mesa, but murdering cyborgs. I mean, I do hope, Ale, that we see APCs. Like, or troop carriers, right? Like, that's something I was like, hopefully, really, like, I'm a sucker for logistics, and so like, God fucking, I want to do one thing, and you.
Gotta keep a record in the event of my death.
Anytime I set myself a goal to do on this fucking map, this happens. It knows. It's listening to me. But no, yeah, I do really want to see logistical vehicles like troop carriers or like helicopters or ways to like for troops to be reinforced on the map. It's a new save from a while ago, Bart, but like we've been playing the save for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks at this point. Fuck you.
I think they spotted us.
I guess we get to kill cyborgs in our own way. We're gonna ignore crawlers for ammunition reasons. Boop. Maybe not you though, because you're in the way. Hold on. Alright, let's not get HKs though. Let's keep moving on. I don't think the cyborg spawn inside of the crawler during this phase or during this variant. But no, yeah. I genuinely, like, I do think the March update forever ago, the reinforcement update, it was more about weapons and other things, I feel like, than reinforcements. I was genuinely very hopeful for, like, reinforcement, like APCs and stuff like that, or maybe helicopters. I still think, like, one of the biggest things I would actually want for, like, the actual, like, the way the game plays is having the spawns function like an RTS would, right? Like, not just popping into the map or like spawning around a corner, but like actually coming in from off map from, like, you know, other like APCs, helicopters, just walking in from off map. Like having the map be like populated through certain reinforcement points for certain factions. And they wouldn't get to like interior sections without walking there. I'd be careful. I don't have a silenced gun and there's a fucking grabber over here, so I probably need to stop shooting soon.
This is it. We decide what happens next.
Leave me alone. I think one of the artists is from Killzone 3, or Killzone, right? I think that's one of their artists is from. Fucking conga line. That's another reason too, as you can probably tell, why I also want the reinforcements to function differently. There's lots of, on the bigger maps like Mesa, there's lots of despawn triggers everywhere for certain units. So for example, they hit the despawn trigger there and they just got Thanos snapped.
Everyone for themselves.
All right, we're good there. While I'm here, might as well get some fucking loot. Look how small. I feel like that's a very... I feel like that's smaller than most actual cyborg bombers are. Just it's another tank case.
I live for this. Please, give me time.
All right, time to leave, so we can run it back and actually do our plan. Hey, bad scrambler. No. Scramblers, no scrambling. Yeah, they're the only exception, AL. Or like one of the exceptions. Like you can have like other respawns happen inside the map too, right? But it needs to be grounded by cyborg bombers or helicopters, or like you can do areas too, right, where it looks like a Europa garrison perhaps, and like you can have like respawns happen in map from certain points. They did talk about map expansions too, so I'm very helpful for that. Leave me alone.
That's it for us. Another day.
All right, let's try this again. Hopefully, though, with like a regular version of Mesa, so I can go in the Titan and start killing lots of cyborgs. Probably a little bit of both. I mean, like, technically speaking, though, Survivor, to be kind of pedantic, adding rooms would be an expansion. It wouldn't be a very big expansion, but it is technically an expansion. You could. So, Snowman, I've always thought, like, I don't know how they do their back end. I think right now there's not really a lot. Like, there's Theaters of War. I'm not sure how deep Theaters of War is right now in regards to tracking stuff like that. But internally to me, I would always, like, the way I would go is I would have, like, a back end grid. Like, just like a chessboard, right? And, like, I would have the chessboard store, like, you know, information, like maybe buildings a faction has there. Like, I would essentially simulate an RTS on this chessboard and have the maps be locations on this chessboard that you can experience, and, like, as the simulation plays out, right, stuff will change on those maps. And that's probably what Theaters of War is. I just don't know how they're doing their version of that, right? I'll bring a few of these just in case. Well, it has to be real-time clock based, because that's what they like. That's what they have in game currently, right? So it kind of depends too on how they're simulating the steps. Like, are they saying, like, every hour, every day, every week they do a turn for the AI to move around, if the AI even has turns? Like, essentially, what's the tick rate for this global battle going on, right, that we're not aware of? So at the current level, all Theaters of War is that maps have certain faction control percentages that influence what can happen on the map. By and large, I haven't really explored it all that much, but, like, so for example, the Raider Walkers you see on the map, right? Those are things you can go activate, and once you go activate them, if you go back to the region screen, you can now see the faction control percentages. And apparently those are supposed to influence spawns, certain events here and there. The other thing is, like, there are certain things you can do to influence Theaters of War in a very light way. So, for example, blowing up the radar tower, blowing up the bridge is supposed to impact Theaters of War. Essentially, for example, it gives you, like, a thing you do, the result of the thing you do, and the consequences of the thing you do, right? Like, say, for example, if you blow up the bridge on Mesa, you get the benefit of not having cyborgs spawn on certain maps, or having some of the spawns turned off. The consequence, though, is you get a shield officer on this map during the entire duration of that effect.
Has our luck run out?
So, like, you can kind of say that's Theaters of War, and that might indirectly influence too the faction control percentages on a map. And, like, they only put in the skeleton of the system thus far, so it's like a baseline for them to expand. And, like, the question I have, right, is, like, I don't think it's that I'm curious what they have in the back end to track those percentages, and if they really mean a whole lot outside of just being a numerical value right now. But, like, that's always how I would personally, like, I would approach it from, like, a simulation angle first, and then I would use that simulation to inform things on maps, right? Like, personally, I know I almost assuredly they don't do this, but I would almost want the spawns on map to be influenced by the reserves in the area, right? And, like, as the reserves get diminished, depending on the AI style, they might throw more things or less things in the field, right? They might be conservative or aggressive depending on the AI and the faction, perhaps some RNG, right? And, like, technically speaking, I think it would be interesting, like, if you killed enough of a faction, right, maybe they run out of reserves. Now, naturally, the player shouldn't be able to do that, like, but in the simulation, that should be definitely a case, right, where, like, let's say, for example, on a map, Europa and Yoruska fight for, like, an hour, and they deplete each other, and so they get much more conservative with reinforcements, and eventually you get to the point, too, where there will be a victor on the battlefield who now changes state from, like, a battle state to, like, a scavenging or, like, patrolling state. And if you've ever played a map like Mech Trench, for example, before, the game is a lot easier, in my opinion, to sneak around in when the enemies are fighting, and not necessarily when they're patrolling. Because when they're patrolling, right, there's no, like, chance they might attack someone else other than you. So it does actually incentivize you to not wait around for the battle to end, because patrolling enemies are actually more dangerous for you than actively engaged enemies. Hey, Doom. Yeah, I am. I have other things to worry about Monday, like exams, but, like, no, yeah, I'm very excited. Thankfully, the exam is, like... So, a lot of my professors have had to, like, change the way they do tests, just because, A, it's a grad level program, and 2, because of AI. And so, like, they're kind of reluctant, like, maybe not reluctantly, but they're kind of leaning into AI a bit more now, in the sense of, like, hey, you know, your exam is like open book, open note, and potentially even open AI, and like the thing that we're testing you on, right, is being able to get the answers right, explain why your answers are right, like knowing why and be critical thinking, stuff like that, but also the time constraint. They want to see us solve problems in a timely and concise manner. So if we don't know how to utilize or prompt the AI efficiently, or if we don't know how to answer the question critically, that's what's going to dock us off of points. They essentially want to make sure that we, like, know what we're talking about, know that we're efficient in responding to it, and then, like, we can get the right answer. So it's a very weird sort of, like, scenario, right? It's very different from my undergrad degree, where, like, AI didn't exist yet. It's kind of wild. But, like, I guess it's just academia trying to, like, you know, figure out how to deal with AI, right? Or how to, like, mold themselves around it, because I don't see it going away anytime soon. They probably don't either. That's fucking brutal. Yeah, and that's why they kind of, like, the answers are short. Like, it's why, like, the quest answer's gonna be, like, kind of like, you need to be able to, like, understand what you're talking about.
Taking fire!
Hey, no. Fucking shotgun stagger. God damn it, shotgun stagger. It also did, like, did that shotgun just do, like 1200 HP of my damage, or HP in, like, one shot? God damn. We're running it back. I need my revenge. It might have been 2 shots, but, like, my HP bar fucking just disappeared. Do I have 545? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't actually look for that, and I couldn't answer even if I did. But I don't think that's something they're changing, because it's just there. It's not something I'm aware of by any means. It would be nice if it got fixed though, because I don't really think it's a good mechanic at all currently. Like, just do aim punch like every other game. Let me just go over to 545 because I have ammo for that. It doesn't need to be just pure agency robbing. Yeah, just like with one shot you get, and the problem is too, right, is like, what's the reason they don't one-shot you? Well, like, it's like they don't one-shot you, but effectively they one-shot you anyway because they stagger you to death. Like, it might not instantly kill you in one shot, but it effectively kills you in one shot. It's like a one-hit kill and everything but name. Oh, this is fine. We'll just run it back. Alright, Mesa. Let me just... No, let me spawn here. I was thinking about spawning at bunkers, but it still means I have to come over here to extract, so let's not. Actually, let's do Desolated Street, because that means we can extract back here. Pixel, they just make every gun stagger you now. Hey, getting shot by a bullet hurts, right? Every time you get shot, you get staggered now. I do, by the way, think, like, I think it's criminal. So, like, the one thing that's criminal, right, is that Gunhead can't pet the dog. First criminal act by Fun Dog. The second is that, why is my melee attack when I'm masked man with a shovel head not me just using my beak? Like, look how, like, you can see the beak, right? Like, how, imagine how effective that would be at, like, hold on. Alright. Imagine how effective the beak would be. Look at that thing. That thing would be deadly. Mask Man, shovel heads, a melee attack should definitely be a beak hit. Michael, I know I'm being facetious when I'm saying that, right? But no, but Bart, I know he has different versions that doesn't have the beak, right? But I'm saying when you're this particular version of Mask Man, right? He should have a different melee attack. So just check for the skin, the variant of Mask Man, and if it's Beak Mask Man, he beak attacks. Wait, what? You're rescuing brawlers from the June update? You mean Coquetta? Okay, whatever his fucking name is, Mr. fucking Burger Patty Man? The Orgamech? The reskinned Orgamech? That's literally a copium request to Fun Dog. I'm not sure if you're using the word copium correctly. I'm not usually a stickler for, like, the context of words, but I think in this particular instance, you're using the word copium wrong. Me asking for a meme melee attack is not a serious request. But I guess that might just be lost in translation. Hey, Tongue. Now, I didn't bring a flashlight, so that's unfortunate. Hey, no. Shotgun's no shotgunning. Leave me alone. Alright, there we go. Huh? Really? Nothing? Alright. I really wish I brought a flashlight. I still hear a shotgunner. I'm kind of scared.
That's it for us.
I don't see a shotgunner, but I definitely hear one. Maybe he's dead now. Oh god, there's so many fucking crawlers. Really? Only one? These guys are fucking resilient as shit, my god. That's wild. They're just eating grenades left and right. I mean, grenades, they do have like the death meter of concussion of like just the force, but mainly shrapnel, right? So I guess if they're resistant to shrapnel, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, the base grenade, like the non-cluster grenades do seem pretty lackluster, but like, I feel like they're not bad versus regular infantry. I don't know.
Don't miss. Every shot counts.
It's so fucking dark in here. Oh god, actual runners. No. No, not the 180, not the 180. I don't like the command. The 180 got me killed. I need to unbind that. Hold on. We're gonna go unbind that real quick. Curse you, console players, you got me killed. Alright, hold on. I need to go rebind you to not something that will get me killed. Numpad died. So for those unfamiliar, what kind of happened to us there is that there is a keybind to like about turn, and the about turn is the S key. So I think it's like shift plus S. It's something weird, right? But like I think it might be shift plus S. So like when you're sprinting and you hit the S key because you're trying to turn around and like backstrafe, it results in you turning around. As you saw, and it did not result in the desired output. So we rebound it. It does seem to get reset. Like maybe it was because it's probably because I cleared my save files. What probably happened when I did the migration over to a new account. That's probably why it happened. Is it just cleared out that that command or that rebind? But no, it's real rough. But like, it's a necessary feature for console players, right? Because console players don't have an easy time turning around. So I understand why it exists, but instantly unbind that shit, basically. Alright, there we go. Yeah, to play a non-beak Maspian Law, it's unplayable. What version did I actually get? Let me go to the superior version. There we go. Let's do some Scorched Enclave. Thanks, Thung. I'm glad you find them helpful, or you enjoy them. Let's get the Toothy version 2 going. Alright, any other quests for Scrap here while we're here? Or sorry, Scorched Enclave while we're here? I don't think so.
Wake up, rinse and repeat. Stay alive.
Alright, so Pyro and the other guy. Alright, so he should be down here somewhere. Oh, hold still. Not making this easy. Hold still. What the hell? Oh, it's Rat Gang. Rat Gang, chill the fuck.
Eyes on us. Spread out.
Rat Gang has no chill. Alright, I'm gonna go murder a officer real quick. Wait, where is he? Don't tell me he already died to fucking Toothy. Hey! What the God fucking... You were invited to this party! Oh god, it's so bad.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not very chill of you. God damn it. He fucking... I swear, every gun in this game is just fucking balanced around RPKs at full auto. There is like genuinely a very small list of weapons you should use in this game. And if it's semi-auto, you basically just leave it at home. Alright, fun dog dad, I'll go back to the fucking meta. I'm sorry I tried to use a different gun. I apologize. I'll go back to using an RPK. As you've requested. I am sorry for doing a non-standard gun. I'll go back to murdering now. No, like that was the big thing. That's the big thing with like the cyborg bugs, the cyborg bugs, the cyborg buffs is that really just like every gun is awful versus them outside of like a few of them. No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, handguns and pistols and even SMGs. Like the Spectre M4 is okay because it's 45 and actually has good base damage, but for the most part, like if it's a 9mm, you leave it at home. You're like maybe killing like maybe 2 cyborgs with a full magazine of 9mm for most guns. If that. So no, it definitely feels like most guns or most like things right now are balanced around high capacity like RPK or AK mags or M42. Where's the commander? Is he already dead? Where's the exo being down here? I don't have hot... It's so inaccurate. Hold on. There we go. We got him. Map has highest death rate. By percentage, if we're going by straight numerical number, probably Scorched Enclave, because people like new players love playing Scorched Enclave. If we're actually gonna weight against that though, Elephant can be kind of hard. I actually would agree with you there. There's lots of like areas that can be kind of trappy on Elephant, and there's not a lot of like ways to go around it. So I think Elephant I would actually probably agree with. Downtown can maybe be up there though too. Downtown has a lot of stuff going on, and it's very hard to avoid combat on that map. So I can see like Elephant, maybe Downtown. I wouldn't say Mesa. I wouldn't say Mech Trench. Maybe Mech Trench can be deceptively deadly though. the loot room in Mech Trench is like, you get kind of lots of enemies that can go into there at the same time. It makes it kind of rough to get out of if you get into combat. Elephant downtown. Cemetery is weird. Cemetery is like, do you get killed by the dog? Babel's a big one. I do agree with Babel though too. My problem with Babel is I actually think the problem, like I do agree with Babel a lot. The only problem is like, I honestly feel like, does anyone really play Babel all that much though? It doesn't diminish the actual like death rate on the map, right? But like, it definitely feels like a map where you wouldn't have a large sample size just because, in comparison to other maps, just because I don't think Babel's a very replayable map, really. Like, there are certain maps I play a lot every stream, and there are certain maps where I only play them once or twice every stream. And like, those once or twice maps definitely are like, I play Downtown once or twice, I play Stairway once or twice, I play Cemetery once or twice, and Babel is like in that category of like, I'll play it once or twice a stream and that's about it. I'll play Elephant multiple times, I'll play Mesa multiple times, I'll play Scorched Enclave, actually really only once and twice too. I don't play a lot of Scorched Enclave either. But like, the ones I go back to a lot are usually Frozen Swamp, Mesa, and Elephant. Part. No, it's just fun. Like, we're just having fun here, man. This game is not like hard, not necessarily hard enough, but like the game isn't much of a game yet, enough to the point where I'm like worried about survival rates or like surviving and getting out. Just having fun, man. I'm just doing some laps, man. I'm taking my dog for a walk, AL. I'm getting in this cardio. Like, if we know from Lordos 2, right, these guys chain smoke, so eventually we should like get to the point where like he's out of breath. That's the actual plan, right? Is we're gonna get to the point where he runs out of breath, and that's when we'll win. All right. Goodbye, Mr. Orgamek. It was fun. No, come back. Come back. Wait, what?
They're tracking us.
I can't believe you left me.
We should head home. It's like Christmas came early. Now to open those presents.
I can't believe my Orgamek left me. I took him for a nice walk too, right? Wild. All right. Yeah, I usually play like, I play Scrapyard once or twice. I play Mech Trench sometimes, like a few more times, but usually like it's not a lot. I usually default to like Mesa, Elephant, or Frozen Swamp. All of these I'll usually play once or twice a stream. I'll play this like maybe like twice or three. It depends on what we're doing. If we're doing like a lot of weapon stuff, I will play Scrapyard more because it's a good weapon map. Mech Trench, yeah, like once or twice, and then the rest, yeah. Probably just pathfinding. All right, let's go ahead and do downtown. Let's go over to the robot 2. I need to fix this. You need to be happier with me. What do you want? There we go. And then bunko, grenade launcher ammo. Alright, that should be good enough. We'll bring a few extra, I guess, somethings. Just to make sure. What gun can we bring? You know what? Just for you, Bob. Bunko is a scammer, but he also does sell grenade launcher ammo that you can't usually get. Like, he is like the only other seller of GL ammo during a reset. I need stuff for downtown, please. But no, yeah, you shouldn't sell stuff to Bunko, and ideally you shouldn't buy stuff from Bunko, but there's a few things he sells in quantities that you can't get elsewhere. So. Give quests, please. Sure. I do have a GL for this. Yeah, I mean, like, he sells, I think, half what Grillo sells for grenade launcher ammo, but considering he's the only one who sells grenade launcher ammo outside of him, like, it works. Like, he's not a great vendor for anything, but for 20 mil grenade launcher ammo, everything else is just too small quantity. I guess 50 cal too if you're doing sniping can be fine at a pinch if you don't have any, you don't have the other vendor. But yeah, 20 mil and grenade launcher ammo is the two. He does sell some, like, one of each med kit if you're really in a bad way. Like, if you're really in a bad way. He will help you out in your time of need. All right, downtown. This works. Bob, what do you? I already have it equipped, man. Now, am I going to use it? It's going to be a different thing entirely, but it exists. Well, I have teddy bears. Some teddy bear guthead. Who wants to come hug me? Who wants a hug? That worked out pretty well. Yeah, okay, how's it going? I doubt it. I would be very surprised if they did the AL. So exo hard, I don't actually know where exo hard drives are. I'm sure it just probably involves killing an exo and picking up their ship. The sabotage we can just do by shooting the antennas, and the destroy fuel tank we need an explosive for that. Which you can usually find, like, right next by, or right next door to the actual location we need to blow it up at. Helicopter, helicopter.
Under fire from multiple vectors. Seek cover immediately.
Don't think about it. The big surprise will be a patch.
Taking
Sorry, I can't help myself. I think they've already spoke like they were getting skins on Monday too, right? Like it's gonna be a patch plus, and you get like a skin just for like anniversary update. Okay, maybe we need a. Did the Gunhead? Did you just shoot the helicopter? Gunhead, we need to have a conversation. Don't shoot the helicopter, Gunhead. I don't think the helicopter's supposed to do anything. The helicopter just exists, and that's all it ever does. Let's use the saw. Why not? Yeah, I think Gunhead might have shot the helicopter there. Though, funnily enough, I now just do think I want to see like an AA battery of gunheads. You just see like 10 gunheads, like right next to each other, and like maybe they're in tubes that can like rotate around, and all you just see is like a bunch of gunheads tracking enemy helicopters. So many fucking drones, my god. Alright, let's try this again. Let's go up the back way to altitude adjustment, I think. Let's not go the main way. That, like, bottom courtyard's like a fucking death trap. We'll do breakdown first.
dumping targets.
I'll just loot all. It's like we need meds gunhead anyway. Alright, I got a Eruska medium mech. Or mechs, either, too. A pair. They do always seem to come in twos. Alright, let's go ahead and take these down. So you can shoot these, like, there's a very particular spot I found where you need to shoot these at. Otherwise, it doesn't actually do anything. So, like, you need to shoot, like, right here at the joint, it feels like. Did they change it? Hold on. Oh, not again. Not again. Hey, leave me alone, stop it, hey. Can't see. There we go, yeah, it takes a while, okay. Certain amount of damage, I guess. Whoops. Alright, we need to call OSHA. That needs some safety railings on it. Also, my god, the full damage. Pop. Thankfully, the mechs. I mean, to be fair, like, would you really care if you got shot by 5.56 when you're a fucking medium mech? That does not probably give a shit about 5.56 at all. Maybe it, like, chips your paint.
Danger.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the hell are you doing? If I didn't know any better, and like, I would have swore that fucking drone was dodging. There we go. Like, holy shit, that thing was jumping around. I hear helicopter, I don't see helicopter. Is there one more level down maybe, I think? I can't really afford fall damage anymore, so I need to like just head down, I think. Yeah, let me get down one more level. Oh, drone on the wall. We're just gonna avoid you. Hey Phoenix, how's it going?
Dumping. Targets.
Curse you, slight lip. And that is why Gunhead not being able to heal is bad. You do not get to recover from mistakes like that, unfortunately. The fall damage will kill you eventually. Let's run it back one more time. This time, let's do a TKB. Because I don't know why I'd ever use you, but you're kind of a vibe. That works. We don't need a lot of ammo for that. Actually, we do need ammo for this to kill the actual antennas. I wonder if grenades could do it, actually. Where's some grenades? Nice, Phoenix. Congratulations.
It is as you humans say.
Wait.
A good day.
Huh? Oh, okay. I'm dumb. I'm confused. Okay. Ammo type. I was like, I was so confused when we didn't have ammo. I understand now. All right, we're good. We're good. It's been so long since I've used an alternate ammo type. I entirely forgot the whole ammo thing existed. I never used cryo. Is cryo still as buggy as it's always been? I haven't actually used it in forever. I know, like, for example, like, it had this weird, like, time period where, like, it would work once on enemies and, like, not after that. And also, it felt like it would stop working after a while. Does it still have all those bugs? Maybe we'll break it out, too, and see how it runs. I'm not sure if I have any on hand, though.
Dumping. Targets.
Maybe we'll just craft some and experiment again? I haven't actually crafted some in forever. Though isn't the craft, like, cost actually kind of ludicrous? And we'll go find out later.
Initiated protocol 726. Close combat. Authorized.
Okay. I've heard that, like, someone had a medium mech shoot this before and destroy it, and it caused them to get HKs. Which I find quite funny. Alright, the last antenna's over here. Let's see if we can blow it up with a grenade. So it was like, was it... Yeah, we just cut it too hard, okay. See you, Michael. Okay, this plan might have had a few flaws, like for example the grate.
Dumping. Targets.
Come on, you can do it. Perfect. All right, one didn't do it. Two? That went to the hole. There we go. But that didn't count. Oh, I think it's sequential.
Dumping.
So you need to kill all three, and it counts the third one as a list in sequential order. So no matter what, you have to do all three again. I forgot about that. So like basically no matter what, we have to kill all three. Because the way it tracks 1, 2, and 3 is the number of which you kill them in the raid, not necessarily the actual numeric, like the actual object itself. I wonder if you'll do it.
Threat removal imminent.
Hold on. Doesn't feel like it. Huh. Oh, there it goes. I feel like it was just delayed for some reason though, maybe. Weird. Helicopters, man. Do you have any TKB or 545 on you? No. 545? Nope. Alright. Water, explosives, there we go. Just in case we can't blow this last one up with a with our gun. Actually, we probably should just blow it up considering we have like no ammo left. Alright, down you go. And that's one for the helicopter pad. I actually really just, I think it might just be killing exos. I don't think I've done this exo quest before on this map cracked open. I'm guessing it probably just involves killing exos and getting their exo hard drives. Oh god. Alright, we're good.
We have the munitions to remove.
Oh god, no, 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 no! Not like this! Fucking shotgunners, man! Oh, shotgunners. Oh, sweet Mary Mother of God, fucking shotgunners. Is this retribution for us like having an OP shotgun for like multiple like a year basically? Not like a literal year, but like 6+ months. Is this the developer revenge for us using Vepers and AA-12s constantly? Is the taste of our own medicine? I don't like it. Let's see here. We can use a Spectre, I think. I got no 545 ammo. Alright, well. I need to go get water. Alright, it's time for some water runs. It has been deemed that I need water, so... Do I not have the rack yet, actually? I guess I don't. If that's the case, I can just go to a fast person for this. We can go, I guess, to Mask Man, maybe? Regions or vendors, characters, back to there. You have the rack unlocked, right? Yeah, there we go. Alright, time to go do some water farming. See ya, Delta. In the main map we're looking for this is Elephant. Just Western Embassy. They have a quest called Hidden Water Part 2, which is insane for just grinding water back real quick. Looking for an elephant. You're only one day worth, you're not actually worthwhile. Come on. Hidden Water Part 2. We can do Lost Cache. That's almost a freebie. There we go. And the reason why we're doing that particular quest is it sets up basically a static spawn for us. That's really nice. We might do this one. It strictly depends on if there's a grabber in there at all. We really don't need to bring any weapons at all, I don't think either. Yeah, we'll be fine. So all we're doing is basically running to the storage room on this map, picking up the water, potentially doing Lost Cache too, and maybe medbay access depending if there's a grabber there or not, and then just leaving. If we had the rack, we could probably get about 10 to 12 water out for this run really quickly. But since we don't have the rack unlocked right now, we can only do about, I think, the Hidden Water Part 2 is 5, if I recall correctly. We get to pick up 3. The other quests are potentially 2, so potentially up to 10 if we do all of the quests plus the, plus extract. But yeah, this quest in Water Part 2 spawns 5-6 barrels of water in this room. Are we being chased? Sort of, kind of.
Work our way through.
But yeah, it just all spawns in this room over here. It's not a bad loot spot either. We'll just close this door behind us. And there we go. There's all the water for Hidden Water Part 2. So 5 barrels.
Got to prioritize.
Keep in mind too, if you do have the rack and you pick up the 4th will spawn HKs. Just be mindful of that, I guess. And we do have Lost Cache now done too. It's just a question of, do we want to go do medbay access? Probably not, but we'll see. Is it worth potentially risking the grabber? Or just getting shot? Grab some loot here. More water if we really needed it, but we don't. It looks pretty. I haven't heard a grabber yet, so I think we're safe. You are this one. This one. Bop, bop, bop. There are enemies inside. I think we're just opening this for the actual rewards and not necessarily the loot inside. Especially considering, too, that opening this door seems to spawn cyborgs outside that come in. So we don't need to overstay our welcome here.
No infight ahead.
Get scrambled. Alright, we have solved the water issue, I think.
On a day of close.
Probably not solved, but we fixed the water issue, rather. Move to stash. Do the quests. Yes. But yeah, if you just spam that one quest, you'll get like, that was a quick run. We could do it even quicker too if you just want to only do Hidden Water Part 2. And we were at like 8, so like, yeah, 13 water. Do that a few times and you're good. Let's do some shopping. Stairway. That's a freebie, because why not? Let's see here. I guess we'll just, yeah, one quest I guess is fine. What guns do we want to use? Anything that we haven't used in a while? M60 perhaps? Could just go vibe with an M16. We don't have a lot of 5.45. I've used the P90 in forever, actually. I know it doesn't have a silencer, but I'm sure we have plenty of 5.7. Let me upgrade my rig again. Rig. Alright, 5.7. Meds. We'll bring some med kits. We probably don't need a lot, though. And stairway. Maybe we'll get a night shift. That'll be terrifying.
More chances to assist the meager. Let's not waste it.
Sorry, important text. Oh no, 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 no. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's not fall into the void. That's what I get for responding to texts. Potentially dying. That's your lesson for today, kids. Just don't ever reply to anyone texts again, because you might fall to your death in a video game. And we can't have that. We at least saw a medium mech. It's probably a medium mech, though I think Toothy can spawn here too. He usually like drops in though. He doesn't usually spawn right off the rip. Wait, where'd it? Oh, it's fucking camouflaged. I literally could not see it because it wasn't moving. It's a medium mech in the fucking corner. What are you, in timeout? What effective camouflage? I literally could not see it. It was holding absolutely still. Yeah, Fuji, for sure. I think everyone's very pumped for the Monday patch, and also too, just like the IP news also, just like, hey, we're doing other stuff in the IP that's not necessarily game related.
Nothing to be done. They must.
It's a lot of recoil for 5.7. Oh, hold on. Leave me alone. All right, we're good.
A couple dozen more in the ground. It won't make a difference.
I know we just like restarted our account too, but if Monday's patch is actually big enough, I might do it again to get the full experience. It's also important too, I think, for like, if there's gonna be a big patch and like it might get the game some clout and like, and there's lots of new players, understanding the new player experience might be pretty important also. Yeah, it's also just like, it just like, always the question too, like, is the game a bit too hard early on for new players? Like, I'm not saying I don't want a difficult game, but like, it needs to do it in like, I think a somewhat fair way, at least early on. Or like, get the player like, this is going to be a hard game. Like, get them a tutorial first of like, so they can learn like the bare necessities, and then like, let them know that the game is going to be hard. Because the tutorial right now doesn't really do that, I would think. It's a very bare bones tutorial. Yeah, Jacob, I have scripts like that are halfway done, but there's not. I mean, I'm in school, man. I don't have lots of time to do videos, as you can probably tell. I can probably sneak a few here and there. I'm not really doing a good job of that, but like, I don't have anything like in the pipeline immediately. I will be doing a patch video for like this patch after it comes out, and after I get like a vibe what's in the patch. I will hold myself to that. Yeah, that's usually just me talking to a mic off the cuff, as not necessarily off a script. But yeah, I don't really got anything ready for lore really. Partially it's because too, I just don't really have anything I would want to talk about from the lore video perspective of like unit wise, and like anything that's more meta than that's kind of covered in the Forever Winter video. But yeah, I don't got anything for you right now, unfortunately. Alright, our court mandated stairways out of the way. Maybe our court mandated Babel. Let's go over to Maskman for Babel though, because I really want the extra HP for drones. Drones are genuinely so rough. We could do Scar. It kind of just causes cascading though. What's the best weapon for killing drones? Probably a grenade launcher, weirdly enough. But that might cause unwanted attention. It's probably just the RPK, to be honest. Yeah, and like there's nothing wrong with that, Fuji, right? Yeah, that's what we want to do, right? If like that's the thing too, right? Is like if you just want to RP in the game, right, and just do your own thing and vibe, that's perfectly all fair and well. The game doesn't need to tell you like that's wrong. The game is nice because it's like kind of sandboxy in that regard. We're not doing that. Fuck that. That quest is not something I'm interested in doing. All right, and then I think I just need after that. Yeah, I'm bringing a sniper rifle just for dealing with that. Do I have an NTW? Do I have any sniper rifle? I don't have a GM6. Do I have an SVD I could use? I don't think I have the actual upper for the. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. I think we're gonna get the good grenade launcher out. Sorry, the good sniper rifle out. The grenade launcher. We'll be able to solve a sniper with this. And in Fuji too, there's not really like an end game or like something to like. There's unlocking your character upgrades and like going higher in prestige and then like building out your innards, I guess, a little bit. But like, there's not really like long-term progression of the game currently too, right? So it is really just like kind of making your own goals and vibing. All right, we won. No. Fucking first shot accuracy in third person. Wait, what? Curse you, invisible walls. No. Don't you do that. Don't you. This game is trying to kill me. I mean, like, sort of, kind of. I wouldn't consider necessarily Doom the railgun to be progression. Just more that the railgun's like unlocking extra, like, optional content. I wouldn't put personally, like, in a way you could say the extra quests you get from Bunko are a progression, but it's more just unlocking like an optional extra thing you can do if you really want to. I wouldn't consider it like part of, I would consider it a branch. I wouldn't consider it part of the main branch though. Hey, Blood. I think it was a good video. I think we were solely missing one of those for the longest time, so like having one of those those chats again was nice, and not just a patch video. I'm sure they'll still have a patch video too, in addition to what we just got. I would think so. Like having that extra like just chat video is nice, especially because they kind of like outlined a very like high level roadmap too of the coming stuff they're working on. So like now, like the community knows what they're working on now, right? Or like what's coming. We don't have to assume or theorize. We know what they're doing at a very high level, which is all they need to give us, really.
I think they spotted us. That's it for us.
Murder all the drones. There'll just be more though. There's always more. Damn it. There we go.
I'm the last one standing. Oh, this is what it's all for.
Damn it. Whoa, 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 don't shoot back at me. That's rude. What, Doomblade? Listen, we got the Stiltwalker, right? Which is a perfectly functional field for... It's got it, so I can't even do it with a straight face. Everyone wants a new Europa unit, and so they add a new Europa unit that spawns like maybe 1 in 100 raids. Request finished. We have solved your issue of wanting more Europa stuff. We hope you're happy. It's like Kolkata too, right, Mr. Cold Cuts? I still haven't seen him yet. I haven't tried looking for him either. Apparently there's like some spawn criteria. No, it spawns an elephant. Apparently it spawns on Swamp 2, allegedly. But no, yeah, it's... Yeah. Listen, all I want, the only thing I genuinely want is I want 2 things. I want them to fix what they currently have, and I want them to add logistical units. If you're newer to the stream here, I am a sucker for logistics because it makes everything feel so much more real when you actually show logistics and like actual like things moving around and how they do it, right? It makes the world feel so much more real. And like, remember, wars are like won and fought on logistical trains. I mean, there's more nuance to that than that, right? But like, how well you can get supplies to your troops and how well you can move around your troops and how well you can just generally deal with logistics can win you or lose you wars. How are you alive? Did your freaking comrades shield you? They've mentioned it here and there, Doomblade, but we never really haven't gotten anything in the game quantified about like logistics and resupplies. And I really just want to see like APCs and like, I want to see non-combat units and vehicles that are more meant for delivering combat troops or things like that, right? I really do want to see like APCs and stuff. Because like I naturally tie that in to them reworking the reinforcements, right, or how things respawn or how things spawn. And like if you're trying to make your game feel like an RTS, I think that's a very important aspect. Just in time to watch fucking Masked Man crash out Darkstar. Yeah, different types of drones too. Oh god, I could do with the drone rework. I fucking hate the drones in game so much. Just please Fundog, if you're listening, please just model a gun on the drones, please. Like, make them actually have to point their gun to shoot. Right now, both drones in the game do not have a visible gun, so they just spawn bullets from their center mass. And so, like, it just makes it feel very weird, and that, like, they don't have a firing arc, they just shoot at you wherever. That could be useful. If you want to give the drones a vision cone too, you could go that far too. But like the main thing is I just want to have like drones have their guns grounded in reality, right? All right. We've done Stairway, we've done Babel, we've done Downtown a few times and died. We haven't done a Swamp yet, actually. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really... I don't really want to say they should be using the drone sync kill as, like, something they should strive for. Just because the drone sync kill in the game, I think, is actually pretty bad. If you want to make it where, like, if you need a teammate to save you, sure. But there should be, like... I'm not a big fan of the insta-sync kills. I would rather have that, like, I'd rather have, like, what's it called? Why am I forgetting this? I've talked about this all the time. Where, like, it's an animation and you can get out of it, perhaps, like, with certain key presses. QuickTime events, yeah, QuickTime events. Even if they don't want to do QuickTime events, because that requires work, I would still be okay if they, like, if you had a teammate, they could shoot the drone that picked you up and kill them. And get you and save your life, right? Even if they want to lock it behind co-op, sure, I'm okay with that. But there needs to be something that, like, hey, says, like, getting grabbed is immediately not a death sentence, right? It doesn't instantly kill you. Even if it requires a teammate. Foyos, the drone does do a sound effect, like audio cue before it grabs you. The problem is the actual grab begins based off proximity. And so if the drone is next to you physically and makes that sound, it will immediately do the sync kill because of proximity. So that's essentially the issue, right? Is what I've seen it a few times too, right? Where if I'm next to a, like, let's say for example, a drone faces to the floor is next to me, if it plays that audio cue because it's next to me and it's, you know, past the proximity trigger, it instantly goes into the animation to kill you. And that can happen a few different ways, really. So, like, it can basically seem like it doesn't actually have a cue when it does, but it's just bypassing the kind of, like, the time it should give you normally because it's right next to you. All right, we have Clear Skies, Scav Scrap. I need to bring a drill for Clear Skies, potentially. La drill. Should only need, like, 1 bullet by 5 for right now. Sort of, kind of, yeah, like Doomblade, like that. If you really wanted to leave the co-op aspect, and I will say, like, it personally, well, despite me playing mostly solo, as long as it had that level of nuance to it, I'd be pretty much okay with it, right? It's like, this is the downside of me not having companions to save me in this instance. Like, this is like the downside of playing solo, right? Is if you get into a bind like this, you're kind of fucked. Some people might not like it, it reinforces co-op more, but, like, I just view it as, like, a contrast. Oh, night shift.
Has our luck run out?
Personally, like, and, like, I would still personally probably prefer QuickTime events for stuff like that, but I understand that that's probably a lot of, well, let me say, it's definitely a lot of work, I imagine. Yeah, for us, the only problem though, right, is, like, what happens when the drone is next to you. Hey, see you, Fuji. Oh, sorry, I thought you said you were going. No, yeah, I like that time though. Food, like, so Furios, or Fios. Yeah, it, like, the only problem is, like, essentially what's the edge case of, like, when a drone is next to you and goes into animation, right? Are you saying that basically it won't go into the animation if it's next to you, or are you saying it needs to, like, it still needs to give you time? Despite it being next, it needs to be not proximity based, it needs to be proximity and time based. No, QuickTime events aren't necessarily, like, only in Resident Evil, right? Like, they're pretty ubiquitous. There was a day and age where QuickTime events were used fucking everywhere. But more, like, in more modern games, they have fallen out of favor. and I guess Resident Evil is like one of the more like current ones that still hasn't abandoned them. But like in the, I want to say like late 2000s, or maybe early 2010s, there was a large swath of games that all used QTEs, and they kind of went the way of the dodo, but like they still do have their place. It's just that they were overused for a while. So for example, Call of Duty 3 had QuickTime events throughout the entire game. I think Bulletstorm did too. There was lots of games in that era that used QuickTime events. And they were kind of like overdone, don't get me wrong, but like I definitely think in this particular instance, this is like, actually need to do this gas crap or to do the clear skies. I think in this particular instance, it's like a very clear example of like, hey, this actually probably belongs here. Yeah, I mean QTEs in campaigns always feel like, you know, you want to make a cinematic feel by like having QTEs, right? Because like, you know, oh hey, as opposed to just playing like a cinematic, right? Let's have the actual player be inside the cinematic via QTEs. But in this particular instance, I guess it's more about like, in my viewpoint, the QTEs in this game for sync kills are more about giving players some agency back to let them out of the sync kills. And not just have it be an arbitrary fail state. No, I guess not arbitrary. Arbitrary is probably the wrong word for that. But rather just be a very harsh fail state. It's definitely one of those things too where I would probably try it out on drone sync kills first. Like, it's definitely one of those features where I wouldn't say like do it to every sync kill in the game. I would probably just say, hey, let's try this out on drones first and see how players feel about it. And just like do a very just a very kind of just low, like not like a low like cost of implementation sort of interaction, and just see if players enjoy it or see if it even feels fun as a developer, and then go from there. It might not feel fun, I don't know. It makes sense to me mentally, but I can definitely understand where it's like one of those things where if you do it and it might just not, it still might not fucking mesh. At that point, though, I'm gonna question though is like, what do you do with sync kills though? Just keep them in game and just like, I don't know, make them harder to perform for like certain enemies like drones. I mean, we'll see in what capacity though, right? Because my idea of base building rate was more always about like, not necessarily the Tarkov base building, which is kind of what this thing they're doing, but more in the sense of making it like a Frostpunk light with like resource management, right? And the problem with that though, right, is like it needs to be turn-based or otherwise it just goes back to the whole water issue. You could do it like in-game time only, like where time only passes when you're in-game, but like I think that system has a lot of fucking innate flaws, where it creates some very kind of weird like incentives for players. Well, here's the thing though, right? Kaiser mentioned this in chat yesterday when we were talking about it, about like turn-based water drain. Or just like, we were talking about crafting, right? Actually, we were talking about crafting and how I hate the IRL crafting timer is because it doesn't feel like it's weighted by anything, right? There's no context behind it. Like, if IRL water still existed, the crafting timers would have context because the opportunity cost of you crafting something is the water drain, right? Like, if something takes you a day to craft, in the game, the IRL water drain of a day means there's a cost to that opportunity cost, right? Like you are spending a day of water to craft this item, which means you cannot do with that water something else. So that adds context to it, right? And that doesn't exist in the current state of the game, right? And he mentioned how, like, they should add just the ability to pay water to expedite crafting. That doesn't solve the underlying issue, right? It allows you to spend currency, or it gives water additional currency purposes, right? Like you can expedite crafting with this water, but it still doesn't solve the underlying issue of adding context or opportunity cost to crafting, right? And that's what that's what all kind of civ builders, city builders, right, kind of prey upon, is the opportunity cost of doing something before something else, or using the resources for something over something else. So like that's what I really genuinely want in this game, at a very like I don't want to ask the player a ton, but I do want to add some nuance to like the crafting, right, or just how they play the game, to the point where their decisions have opportunity cost. Like, you know, making choices has weight. Like, you know, there are things you can do in city builders, right, like Frostpunk, where you might make the wrong building in the wrong order, and it, you know, there's a cost to that, right? It's not as efficient. Like an RTS build, right? Like think of like all the StarCraft builds you have, right? Like if you ever played StarCraft on RTS before, different builds do different things better than others. So it depends on what you're trying to do, and depending on what you're trying to do, the context and what you're doing in what order matters. Like if you're just doing marine spam in fucking StarCraft 2 as like a meme build, or a cheese build, right? You don't need gas, so in no part of your build order are you building gas. To, you know, do high-tech units or do different units, right? But let's say, for example, you're doing mech. Well, suddenly you need lots of fucking gas in a mech build, right? Like you need to start doing maybe gas earlier than you would in a regular build. And that's like all things I would like, not as deep as that, doesn't need to be as complex as that, but like that's the level of nuance I kind of want, right? When I talk about like, I guess it was to the right of me? That was weird. So what we just saw there was like, so they have like basically a catch. So there's a few areas on maps where things will spawn, and the game will try to catch it if it spawns, to not have it spawn immediately next to you, and it will move the spawn to a different spot. The most notable areas are where we just saw, and also the Titan on Frozen Swamp, where you can even see they glitch out and move where the spawns are, right? I'm guessing one of those was to our right and we just didn't notice it, and we got brawlered. Hey, Wiver. I liked the dev announcement. Yeah, it was good. It was nice. Actually, I'll even show you guys what I mean too. We could probably see it if we go back to Swamp again, actually. Hey, Bells. But no, they currently, to basically make sure that pop-in never happens right next to the player, they have like a catch for that. But as you can probably see, it's not a perfect solution, but it is a solution. Yeah, and Darkstar, if they're going for the approach of just having lots of different skins, right? There's definitely going to be a few you don't like, or maybe you don't like most of them, right? But that they should eventually find a skin that you probably vibe with, right? All right, let's do another Frozen Swamp. Boop. Let me make sure I have a flashlight too on this AK, actually. Yeah, flashlight. Thank you. All right, Frozen Swamp, Roto Tracks. What integrated suppressors aren't working, Zed? We're gonna have a conversation here. You're not gonna like it, I don't think, but what integrated suppressors aren't working?
don't have a good feeling.
I have bad news for everyone. 50 BMG is not suppressible, really. There's a suppressed barrel for the SVD? Okay, alright. So the two integrated suppressors people bring up, I'm not aware of the SVD one. I can't remember the SVD having an integrated suppressor on any of its barrels. I'll have to go check that. I don't recall that existing, but maybe I'm wrong. That I'll have to talk about later. The Scar integrated suppressor, right? That would almost assuredly not, like, it's 50 BMG, right? 50 BMG is a very powerful round. It's still going to make tons of fucking sound when you shoot it. And also, on a gameplay front, the Scar should not be suppressed in game. I have bad news. 50 BMG is a very spicy round. It is literally half an inch. So, like, not even like a physical perspective, it would like not work, probably. But also from a gameplay perspective, it shouldn't be silenced. I actually hate suppressors in the game. I abhor them. So like the Scar from a gameplay perspective shouldn't be silenced in the first place. I'm actually quite glad you did not bring up the Vector. The Vector I would have slammed you for. Well, it's okay, so here's the thing. It's not your fault. It's Vector's fault. So the Vector that's modeled in game is, it's awful. All LMGs are awful in this game, currently. The Vector that's modeled in game is modeled after the civilian Vector for the US market. And if you're unfamiliar with the US market, there are short barrel rifle laws and there are suppressor laws. And if you're trying to sell your gun to lots of different people, you generally want to comply by both those laws. However, the other thing in the US market is people really like tactical gear. They want to have gear that looks cool. And so, what Vector has done to comply with those laws is have a long, I think 16-inch barrel on their Vector to abide by the SBR laws in the US, and to not make the gun look absolutely derpy as shit, they have put a barrel shroud over that 16-inch barrel that looks like a suppressor but is not one. It is only a barrel shroud. So I can understand the confusion on why you might think it's a suppressor, but it's not one. It is the civilian market, the Vector with a barrel shroud on it. It is not an integrated suppressor. And if you want to complain about US gun laws, you're certainly free to do that, but because they are weird as shit. And it feels like arbitrary half the fucking time. But yeah. Are we gonna see the pop-in? Okay, they did not spawn this time. I might need the actual quest to have it pop in. But like, if you get your Ruskins here, what you'll generally see when you get to around here. So, this used to be a spot where if you like walk to right here, you would have a bunch of Ruskins spawn in front of you and behind you, and like you would die. And so what they do now is they catch when you walk this way, you'll see the enemies spawn and they'll immediately teleport to the side rooms instead. So essentially they just have a catch now for the few instances when like things would spawn around you or do the pop-in. Yeah, I mean, technically the US doesn't exist, but apparently we still use lots of modern firearms though, Fuji. Trust me, I would personally have loved if they leaned more into like bespoke firearms. Or like very, very like changed base firearms, right? I do not like the fact they use modern firearms in the game. I also don't like the fact they went for like a fully modular like attachment system either. I think it was way too aggressive of them, but I digress. We'll see how they do in the weapon upgrade or weapon update, I guess. if they're gonna focus on weapons at all. Alright, I need a train schedule.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
I mean, prototype are just like, you can use like a base AK or a base M16 and just make it like dystopia punk, right? Like you can have like you can use like, you know, examples of firearms today and just kind of modify them a bit to make them, you know, fancy. Like the advanced warfare approach, right? Or like, you know, any like, you know, near sci-fi game, like near future game. No, hey, stop it. Let's use the elevator up, I think. Or that too, and just like how so many of the weapons too are like not beat to shit. They feel like they're fresh off the factory floor, which I mean could be the case too, right? But like for a grimdark aesthetic, right? I kind of want to see the guns be like kind of grimdarkified, right? Or just like junkified, or just have some wear and tear. I want the guns to fit the aesthetic I feel like it should have. I ascend.
Everyone for themselves.
Don't mind me, just empty elevator going up top. I think they do have a Kona vision. I think they are just using like UE5's like AI for vision, right? Or like, I don't think they've reinvented the wheel. I think it's just they're using vision like periphery. Like they have their frontal cone, but they also have periphery too. Gusto, you're like, yeah, 100%. I fully agree with you there, man. I want like guns to feel like, you know, sci-fi guns, like you did, and then like the guns to be different between the factions also, and like I don't know what they prioritize. Like Eurasia might have sci-fi guns, where like Europa might be very conventional, leaning into like mostly modern firearms, like with some changes here and there. Eurasia might have some like very weird, like steampunky, like biopunky firearms. Ow, what the hell is hitting me? God damn it, the fucking respawn. So that's the problem with the area up here too, is the people that we were getting shot from was the respawn of the spawn. We just the people we died from was the respawn area of the people we just killed. Yeah, welcome to everyone to get killed by a respawn area. Yeah, it makes sense. But no, that area up there is the respawn area for Europa soldiers, and yeah, it's rough. Let's do another mesa. The DLC 2 skin, third person ADS and crouching, okay. You can. For medium mechs, it takes about 30 grenade launcher shots to kill them. So quite a few. Assuming they aren't hurt, like, a lot, right? It's about 30 shots, but, like, without them being priorly hurt. Yeah, about same thing. Eurasia and Europa around 30 shots each. Let's see here. Are you... Okay, I can buy you. I would probably check that. They should be about the same. There's always the weird... It feels like they fixed it, but it always seems to find its way to creep back in. There's always the issue, too, where sometimes the grenade's explosion proc damage doesn't actually work. I mean, we're going to Mesa. If we actually see one, we'll try it out. But, like, historically, the Europa and Eureska medium mechs have always had the same HP. Yeah, it feels like they've largely fixed that. I haven't seen... God fucking damn it. Why do you do this to me? You never show up when I want you to, but you always show up when I don't want you to show up. Yeah, so the explosive damage sometimes in the historically... Oh, sorry, I'll get back there. I mean, we're running through this map anyways, we'll get it next time. Because we are just like running straight through this map anyway. So historically, like there's been a pretty prevalent bug, Fuji, where like just randomly the explosive damage will not proc, and you'll only get the impact damage, despite seeing a hit marker. So like that's just like something that happens sometimes. So it always made the counts of actual like how many geo shots it takes to be kind of weird sometimes. But it feels like by and large, it feels like they've fixed that. But I can't exactly say that's true. It finds its way to like sneak back into the patches sometimes, or sneak back into like where it feels like it's happening a lot sometimes.
Eyes on us. Spread out.
Fucking so many cyborgs. Also, you're my coat. I hope you enjoy mass band the bottoms. I don't want to fix the code, Zed. That's your misinterpretation. I don't want to fix the code. Look at that. Perfection. RNG. Fuji. All the night shifts are just base chances depending on the map. It's always felt like Night Shift Mesa was like always around 5%. It might have changed recently, like they might have upped it a bit, but it's always felt like historically to me, the Night Shift chance on Mesa has always like been around 5%. Once again, I don't have like, and that's just my like feelings, right? I don't necessarily know exactly what the percentage, but it feels around 5 to me. Because like you'll get instances where it will happen like back to back pretty often, so it means it has to be like a decent percentage, but it also happens like where you can get long stretches and not see it, right? Which kind of feels like a lower percentage. No, yeah, it can basically spiral out of control with cyborg spawns.
It's like Christmas came early.
Yeah, Bob, that's not necessarily true, because I've lived in rural areas before, and the amount of, you know, dollars changing hands without being reported to the IRS is a lot. I know you're just memeing though, but no, there's a lot of people who do not report to the IRS and get away with it, just because they live in rural America. All right, let's run it back, and then let me make sure I actually do the skin this time. Did I not take you off? Okay, I did. Just reporting wrong. America. All right, so you're saying if we third person aim, crouch.
Has our luck run out?
So you're just saying it's because like it's just too close to the model, basically is why it's bad. It is like because the model's basically blocking your what you can see.
Reel them down and we can break out.
I mean, I can get that for sure. That's kind of just the cost too of just like having like the same camera positions for like all of the models. Like I'm guessing all the players. Like I'm guessing. I think I hear a mech. Personally, I don't usually like. I don't know. This is still usable for me, right? It's not great. I definitely will say it's definitely not great. You can probably throw it in a bug report maybe, and they'll maybe fix it. I wouldn't necessarily hold your breath though. Oh, it's just Rat King. Did I bring a drill? I did not bring a drill. All right, you're ruining my science. Hold on. All right, so we're at. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6.
Maybe it'll be too busy eating something else.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. And that's for Rat King, and he was getting shot beforehand. So, at like, it took us 22 when he was already being hurt quite a bit. We saw him get shot once by a grenade launcher. We saw him get shot a ton by small arms. So, like, at least 22. Whoa, little man. Blood. Yeah, direct hits do add an additional 1k also. That's a good point also. So between 22 like direct hits, that adds like another free 2 hits, like 24 indirect hits. Blood, I don't know. So like maybe 30 is more about like, I guess, you know, if you're not directly hitting all the time. Blood, I don't, what are you upset for, Blood? Also, calling Maskman a little man? Why would you insult our short king like that? Everyone's seeing it here, by the way. It's very clear that Bloodpan is anti-science. Why is everyone shooting me? I mean, Beta Decay looks interesting. It is a solo dev project, so I will temper your, like, I will say, temper your expectations. But like, it looks interesting. I mean, I paid him money to like give him money, right? Because I always love supporting indie devs. So like, I gave him $50 for basically early access, and like the early access version of the game currently is perfectly like it's a test, right? It's a bunch of like individual levels with no like actual overarching gameplay or persistence, right? I don't think there's necessarily bad things to say about the game. It's like, if people are making bad things to say about seeing like a test build of the game, they're kind of not understanding what where the game currently is at right now, or what they saw, right? They saw the beginnings of a skeleton, not even a full skeleton. The skeleton's not even there yet. It's just a bunch of tech levels and tech demos. So like, I'm hopeful for it. It's a solo dev though too, so you need to keep your expectations tempered. But like, it looks interesting, and the vibe is cool.
That again. Until the next time.
The dev is a bit of an echo chamber or something. I mean, the dev's made it pretty clear he's just doing what he's doing. Like, that's the plus and the minus of it. It's the good thing and a bad thing about a solo dev project, right? Is that the only inspiration for the game really is going to be that solo dev's vision. And like, you can kind of tell him that things are like not a good, like, you are paying for like the art they are going to portray, like give to you, right? And it might be a hit or a miss. It's entirely dependent upon him, right? It's a weird thing, right? Where like, I can take issues with group projects more than individual projects, but when it comes down to an individual project, it's like, hey, yeah, just make whatever you make, and if you make it something good, I'll buy it, or I'll play it, or I don't know, I'll promote it, I don't know. It's weird. It feels weird to me to like talk a lot of shit, potentially, about a solo dev project, or about the vision, right? Because just let it cook. It's not supposed to be a collaboration, right? It's someone doing a piece of work on a canvas. The context is different, basically, in my opinion. I'm hopeful for it, but like, I would say I'm not like going to overhype myself. I do not think it will be as big I think it will be like a retro sort of, I think it will be a retro game, basically, a retro sort of game in a modern sort of meta, if that makes sense. Like, it's almost like if you took like a PS2 game and added a bunch of more modern elements to it, is what my opinion's going to be of it, right? Or that's how it feels like it's going to me currently. Court mandated cemetery. And it's sort of like the thing with like Kojima games too, I would say, Blood Panda, right? Like, Kojima games clearly have like the inspiration of Kojima, and like for example, Death Stranding, right? It's one of those games where like you love it or you hate it, I feel like, right? You either find it like super interesting and fun, or you find it literally as slow as molasses. Did I not pick up any quests for this goddamn map? Whoops. He's just looting instead. So like, I can definitely see it being one of those very polar games where either you're gonna vibe with the game a ton or you're going to hate it. And that's okay. Like, personally, I genuinely tried so thoroughly hard to like or get into Death Stranding, could not do it. Absolutely just could not do it at all. I tried so genuinely hard. I'll fuck with Metal Gear Solid all day. Can't fucking do Death Stranding. Meh. Actually, I should probably pick up a few of these. Beautiful. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure they respawn also very quickly, very quickly. Come on, like, over here. Yeah, they're already fucking respawned. You can see them over there. Those assholes. You can come up from over there? I did not. Okay, I think they spawn up there. I don't think they actually path through there. I think they have to, like... I don't think the enemies can path through this corridor. But I do think they spawn up here and then walk down. Alright, I'll take a snack. It's so fucking silly. I didn't see any of it get in her mouth. Alright, let's be sneaky beaky here.
Not enough ammo in the world.
Hello. No. Wait, no, I was on the other side of the corner. Don't kill me. I'm sorry. Alright, that didn't go well. That was we definitely chose the wrong entrance. It felt like, I wonder if that's commonplace. I usually do not spawn. When I play cemetery, I usually spawn pipes and not maintenance, because maintenance is more expensive and it's actually the worst spawn. I'm kind of curious. When you spawn pipes in that central atrium when you don't have quests, there's usually at most like 3 or 4 soldiers in there. When we did maintenance tunnel, there was like 2 whole squads of your Ruskins, which is very, very aggressive usually. Or like, that's not usually what I see. So I wonder if like maintenance tunnel is actually just a harder spawn. And if so, why would you ever choose it? All right. Anyway, that's it for today, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Monday evening. They probably will put the patch out earlier than I'll be on. I have stuff to do in the afternoon though, so I won't be on till like 5 or 6, whenever they, push out the patch. So I will be streaming Monday night. I'll be streaming probably Tuesday too for the patch, and then we'll go from there. Other than that, have a good weekend, guys. I hope you see you again Monday. Enjoy the patch, and I will talk to you all later.